Right now, Ashutosh Mishra, meanwhile, is on the ground in Delhi, right outside the BBC office. So, Ashutosh, that's the first statement that has come from the BJP. They are calling and, of course, attacking the Congress here, saying you have no right to talk about emergency and press freedom. So, the IT department survey aside, huge political war on the other side. Ashutosh.
Well, it was, Pooja, bound to happen. Literally, as you know, we have been saying that because of the timing of this exercise by IT department, and this was bound to trigger some political storm, and it has already started. In fact, we are waiting for a statement from the BBC, one of the most prestigious organization. Of course, they will issue some statement, since most of the editorial staff at the bureau office are out. They're not allowed to go inside after the questioning being done with the finance and accounts department. So there will be more reactions because, the opposition has got a really big ammunition over the BBC documentary, and BJP, which not only played defensive, but that time the government of India literally banned that particular documentary. When this morning with the Union Home Minister Amit Shah, questions was asked, he also said that there have been such attempts in past to defame the Prime Minister Modi. But with this particular timing of the raid, of course, what we are being said, that there had some intelligence available with the income tax department, particularly about the tax evasion. But we know the limited amount of operations which being done usually by any channels bureau office, because mostly, whatever the bureau operates when it comes to financially, it is only with the dealing with your headquarter, which is based in London, and the transfer takes place between your offices. There is no other gateway of such funding takes place. Now when it comes to the operations, of course there are spending which is done your employee salary, there is done on your rent part of your building, your structures, and then there is also the payments that you made for your cab, your taxis, your operations, your hotel expenses, other expenses. So with regards to that, the paperwork that was done by the BBC filing their taxes and returns with the income tax officials, whether any irregularity and whatever the filing has been done from this bureau's office by the BBC, whether they find any irregularity into that, that will be verified with if they seize anything particularly in the office. But when it comes to the seizing of paper material or any evidences, this cannot be called a verification. Then this totally amounts to a raid, which we usually call, not in technical terms, because when the government officials...
But Ashutosh, just want to add here that it's not that the newsroom is being touched just yet. This is just the finance department. That's correct. That's been contacted till now by the IT department.
Yes, of course, all this operation, when it comes to carrying out a survey on the finances of any team, you only go to the accounts and finance department, and which is where the team of the income tax officials are present. Of course, certain questions being asked, the papers are being checked out. When it comes to the editorial staff, what we know that all are waiting outside their offices on the 5th and 6th floor because this operation being their phone have been seized. So even we are unable to establish any communication with this the bureau head of the BBC in New Delhi and certain other staff, so possibly we could have some official words from the team of the BBC. So there is no communication that we can set up at the moment, but for now all are waiting for any official communication, both from the income tax department, both from the BBC. And very interestingly, when this survey raid, whatever we call it, is completed, then there is any seizure made or there is no off-source information, whatever they recovered or any irregularity that they find, that will be really very interesting, because for now the eyes on the timing of this raid being carried out, whether it is just all of a sudden they got certain intelligence about any as said of misdeeds or any financial irregularities, or they were already on the radars of these investigative agencies. So whatever is said, and particularly what is not said, will be also under the scrutiny and the scanner of not only the opposition but also this global media giant. So soon, this is later in the day, there will be more developments, Pooja.
Ashutosh, stay on with me, because remember, for the IT department that's currently conducting a survey, as they're calling it, at the BBC office both in Delhi and Mumbai, there are these allegations of tax evasion. Now, even a few days ago, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament and Advocate Mahesh Jethmalani, who had alleged that BBC had received funds from a Chinese state-linked company. Listen in to what he had said.
I certainly believe there's a Chinese hand behind it. I certainly do. The BBC made no disclosure about this, right? They have not talked about their Chinese links, and their Chinese links through Huawei, the telecom company. Their funding by this entity has been both long-standing and clandestine. They've taken money from Hawaii for a long time, and there's been venomous anti-India propaganda, complete lies spread about the Indian Army's activities in Kashmir. As you know, in 2021, they published a map of India truncated without Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, and the Indian government took up the matter with them, and they apologized, and they got away that time, right? So there has been both overt and insidious propaganda, anti-Indian propaganda, by the BBC for a long, long time, and I think enough is enough. This country has tolerated this complete, false propaganda for a long time, and they needed to be exposed.
So that's the allegation that's coming in from the Bharatiya Janata Party, that there was a tax evasion link, but primarily what it also is saying here that there were, that cash-strapped BBC was taking money from a Chinese firm, and they are alleging that there was an agenda that they have been running, specifically anti-India. So let's go across now again on the ground from Delhi. Let me now take you to Mumbai, because that's where the BKC office also of BBC is being currently raided, or as the IT department says, it's a survey. Divyesh, what are you picking up right now? Have the gates been shut? Anyone speaking either from the IT department or from the BBC office, Divyesh?
Well, Pooja, as of now, the income tax officers are present inside the BBC office, which is just behind me in this building. They are present there, and the survey is going on. They are collecting documents from the accounts department, from the finance department, regarding tax irregularities, regarding tax evasion. Remember the satisfaction note which was as per the intelligence developed by the income tax department. Tax evasion is suspected on part of BBC, and that is why this survey is being carried out. So survey will ascertain that further a case will be made out or not. Before a case is made out by the income tax department, survey is carried out by income tax department. That is as per the procedure, and in this survey they will check all the documents, they will check all the financial records, revenue records, spending records, and also the tax payment records of the company. And on basis of that, the further action will be decided whether a case to be made or not, and if a case is to be made, it is to be made under which section of the Income Tax Act, what kind of penalty should be levied, and whether the company will be charge sheeted or not. It will only be decided once the survey is completed. So as of now, this is the primary step that has been taken by the income tax department, and survey is being conducted, and the survey could go on for a day or two. It could also extend up to 3 days, and also on that basis the further action will be decided by income tax department.
Divyesh, try and get as much information as possible, because apart from, remember, what's happening on the ground, it's become a huge political controversy. The united opposition has got together to target the government of the centre.